you grab your cart. Bread, milk, eggs, maybe some snacks. Routine, safe, familiar. But what if your weekly grocery trip isn't as safe as it feels? What if the store you trust, the chain you rely on, even the loyalty program you think saves you money, is quietly costing you hundreds of dollars a year without you even realizing it? Not just in cash, but in value, quality, even how your groceries serve your family. Some of Canada's biggest, most trusted grocery brands use subtle tricks, pricing strategies, loyalty programs, and marketing tactics that add up faster than you think. Here's the catch. You could walk out feeling like you scored a great deal, while the same items just down the street cost far less. No coupons, no points, no extra effort. Shocking, right? Once you start noticing, shopping stops being routine. Every aisle, every shelf, every checkout line suddenly carries weight, a chance to save, or a trap to overspend. Canada's grocery market is more concentrated than you think. A few large companies control most stores, running multiple brands under different names. On the surface, everything looks different: layouts, signage, marketing. But behind the scenes, they often share suppliers, distribution, and pricing strategies. Prices aren't always about competition or production cost. They're about perception. Loyalty programs, digital promotions, members-only discounts, they make you think you're saving, while the base price quietly climbs. Even packaging and branding manipulate trust. Words like fresh, local, or premium signal value, even when the product is identical to a cheaper alternative. In this video, we reveal 5 Canadian grocery stores that are quietly ripping you off, and 5 stores that actually save you money. If you want to buy groceries and keep a little extra in your wallet, you'll want to pay close attention. Starting at number 1, Loblaws. Loblaws presents itself as a one-stop shop built around value, choice, and rewards, largely through PC Optimum loyalty programs. For many shoppers, this creates the illusion that regular grocery spending is being offset through points and promotions. But that's just an illusion. Most users have reported that even after they buy groceries, they never get points, or they can't redeem their points, and when they inquire to ask about the points, they never hear replies, or they get stalled. So it's essentially Loblaws enticing you to shop in exchange for points which you almost don't get, or points that get frozen for no tangible reasons. One very prominent case happened that left users questioning the entire system. In April 2025, Frank Zhang, who thought he was winning at the PC Premium game, soon realized that he was being ripped. After 7 years of consistently shopping, he decided to cash in his hard-earned 43 million point, worth $43,000. Zhang found himself locked out with no warning and clear explanation or reason. But Zhang wasn't the only one, because across Canada, a whole lot of users were also struggling to gain access to their locked account. Customers who have spent time consistently shopping in hopes that they would be rewarded soon realized that it was all a lie. But that wasn't the only problem Loblaws had, because in 2023, customers suffered another major blow. It was discovered that over 80 Loblaws stores were overcharging their customers for underweighted meat. The issue was reported by Iris Griffin, who bought beef at a Loblaw-owned superstore in Winnipeg. The beef label stated that its net weight was 1.834 kilograms. But when Iris Griffin tried to weigh the meat so she could divide it in equal portions, it turned out to be 1.7 kilograms, making it 134 kilograms short. In simple terms, the weight of the beef plastic was also added up to the weight of the beef, and that made her furious. And who wouldn't be? Because she had been overcharged an extra 7.9%, $1.27, on the $17.35 price tag. Imagine being charged an extra dollar for meat you didn't even eat. Insane, right? When Loblaws decided to speak on the matter, they refused to talk about how much customers had been overcharged, how long the problem had been going on, and if the customers were going to get a refund. Just radio silence. And a year later, it happened again. After the Iris Griffin case against Loblaws with CFIA, it was discovered that Loblaws were still overcharging for underweighted produce like chicken, making people buy less at regular prices. If you thought Loblaws was expensive, the next grocery store is another major player with a reputation for high prices. Coming in at number 2, Sobeys is one of the most recognizable grocery chains in Canada. For many households, it represents reliability, freshness, and community presence. The brand consistently emphasizes local sourcing, clean store environment, and a carefully curated shopping experience. These signals create trust, the feeling that Sobeys is a safe, responsible place to buy food, and all this image about the brand is intentional. But when pricing data is examined more closely, that sense of reassurance slowly begins to crack, and you realize something just isn't right somewhere. Independent price comparisons conducted across Canadian grocery chains repeatedly show Sobeys ranking among the more expensive stores for everyday staples like coffee. Items like butters, cereal, coffee, dairy items, and vegetables that shouldn't cost so much tend to cost more at Sobeys compared to their discount-focused competitors, even when brand, size, and packaging are similar, making it seem like customers are paying extra just because it's Sobeys. Now to the tricky part, because the price difference is difficult to detect. Sobeys are way smarter than you think, making it feel like an organized crime against you. While you might think you are not spending so much on groceries, you begin to go over your receipt and realize you've probably spent $1 more on bread or an extra 50 cents on yogurt. Individually, this increase might seem insignificant, but collectively, when they add up, they aren't so insignificant anymore, and you realize you've broken the bank simply because you are buying groceries. Promotions really play a very important role in this perception. Sobeys frequently advertise sales, loyalty offer, and weekly discount, creating the impression of value. However, most of these discounts apply to base prices that are already elevated. In some cases, the discounted prices simply bring the item closer to what competitors charge regularly rather than genuine savings. But that's not the only way Sobeys rips off its customers. Sobeys locations are designed to feel calm, organized, and premium, making you feel like you are getting luxurious services. But it's just an illusion. Wide aisles, polished display, and carefully presented produce subtly reinforce the idea that higher prices are justified. Then, the shopping experience becomes part of what the customers are paying for. Consumer reactions highlight these gaps. Across social media platforms and news coverage, Canadian shoppers have shared moments of sticker shocks after routine visits to Sobeys. Receipts showing over $100 spent on a relatively small number of purchases have sparked widespread discussion, not because the goods were extravagant. In fact, they were quite the opposite. None of this suggests that Sobeys is doing anything illegal. The prices are allowed, the store meets safety standards, but it's still ripping its customers off, and nothing is okay about that. But high prices aren't the only thing shoppers are dealing with. There's also the problem of light packages, and at the same high prices, and this next store takes that crown. In number 3rd place, Metro. Have you ever walked into a Metro grocery store and walked out thinking, yeah, those prices weren't too bad? But what if the real cost isn't obvious at first glance? What if it is baked into how Metro positions itself and how it quietly structures your shopping experience? We're going to expose them. Metro is not a discount store, and it doesn't brand itself as one, but doesn't reveal how its pricing system and loyalty system shape what you pay. Metro Prices isn't about a single item, it specially curates each shopper's experience and makes it seem that they are paying for premium experience. And before long, customers have spent more than they would at a discount store. Don't believe me? Journalistic price comparisons of grocery baskets in Quebec found that when you tally the prices of common staples week after week, Metro often lands above many competitors. A long-term study even showed that the same 30-item list at Metro was higher than at discount stores like Maxi and Walmart. One of the most recent issues Metro has been faced with is the bread price fixing scandal, where it was discovered that Metro had been increasing the price of bread for over a decade. Court documents showed that Metro had been adding $1.50 on every single load of bread between 2001 to 2016. But Metro has consistently denied these allegations, claiming that they are innocent and constantly shifting the blame to Loblaws. Meanwhile, the court has approved a $500 million settlement against Loblaws and George Weston, while Metro is still fighting the allegations in court. So what does that mean for the customers? It means that an extra $1.50 has been added to every single loaf of bread a customer has bought. Sure, a $1.50 doesn't look so much, right? But when you do the math and calculate how many loaves you've bought in a month, you realize you have lost a lot of money. And here's another twist. Different stores under the same corporate umbrella can make pricing look inconsistent. Metro's discount banner grows faster than its conventional stores, showing that shoppers are already seeking more. Transparency and affordability. So here's the question. Are customers paying based on the value of the grocery, or the ease of walking into a familiar store and assuming everything is fair? Metro isn't ripping you off with shock prices. It's doing something more subtle. It's making you assume fairness, then charging you for it. If you thought Metro was bad, in this next store, the price on the shelves is not always what you pay at checkout. And it was so bad that enforcement agencies had to step in. In fourth place, Safeway. Have you ever shopped at Safeway, looked at the shelf, thought the prices seemed fair, then gasped at checkout? Chances are you have, but yours is not a one-off story. It happened to so many other customers that enforcement agencies had to step in. Safeway had history in Canada, decades of operation, quietly building trust. But after the Sobeys took over in 2013, things started to change. But here's the question so many customers needed answers to. If a store is supposed to honor the prices on the shelf, why did errors keep happening? Multiple reports showed items ringing up higher than the price displayed, sometimes by several dollars. It was almost like the prices on the price tags were just suggestions, and the real price was at the checkout. Shoppers who trusted the price tags of the groceries had to fight for refund, track receipts, and even escalate complaints. But these were for customers who were able to figure out that they were being ripped. Because what about the ones who trusted the price tags and didn't even figure out that the price tags and the price at checkout did not tally? Because when you assume the shelf is correct, you stop checking, you trust the system, and Safeway errors exploit that assumption unintentionally or not. In Canada, stores follow the scanner price accuracy code, which says if a price scans higher than displayed, the customer gets a discount or even the item free. Yet enforcement reports showed that Safeway wasn't always compliant, customers were repeatedly ripped off, and some stores were even flagged for investigations. Then, there was the Safeway takeover. What changed? Shelves became emptier, stocking became inconsistent, products people relied on suddenly disappeared, replaced by different brands or delayed shipments. Then people began to ask why they consistently had to overpay or police every price tag themselves. Broken scanners, mislabeling, empty shelves, these aren't dramatic price hikes. You notice at first glance, but the cumulative effect is the same, a consistent quiet loss for the consumer. Safeway isn't illegal, but the system errors, inconsistent enforcement, supply disruptions creates a scenario where the customers bear the burden of these errors and inconsistencies. And that's exactly how grocery stores can rip you off without even increasing the price tags. Unlike Safeway, this next store doesn't even pretend to be affordable. The high prices are upfront. Finally, in 5th place, Farmboy. Farmboy is seen by most Canadians as the most expensive grocery store in Canada. And the moment you step into the store, you can immediately tell that it's different from regular stores, that you even begin to question if you are actually in a grocery store. Bright produce displays, rustic wood signs, hot food bars, and artisan cheese. Right away, you begin to feel like you've elevated your grocery run. But here's the real question. Does the experience match the value when it comes to everyday essentials? Short answer, no. Because that is when many Canadians start noticing something odd. Farmboy positions itself as a fresh, quality-focused alternative to traditional supermarkets. And in some cases, that perception's accurate. Specialty items and prepared meals can be very good. But when similar products are available elsewhere, premium starts looking like a perception markup and not a value markup. In multiple price comparisons of various household items like bread, eggs, canned goods, and dairy, Farmboy tends to land well above discount and mid-range competitors, and most sources rank it among the most expensive, if not the most expensive, grocery store in Canada. Also, Farmboy often source unique or small batch products, but many of these are repackaged versions of products available at larger chains for less. The difference isn't always quality, it's just branding and context. Basically, they just get the same products, change it to a fancy package, then present it as premium. Farmboy's business model relies heavily on presentation, exclusivity, and curated experiences, and that experience becomes the reason you are paying more than you should for basic groceries. Not an outright rip-off, more of a premium perception tax. Not everyone can afford boutique prices for basic groceries, and we have shown you the grocery stores to avoid. So what grocery stores actually save you money and keep the money in your wallets? Number 1, No Frills. Have you ever entered into No Frills and wondered how groceries can feel this cheap without cutting corners? It's not magic, it's intentional. No Frills is designed from the ground up to save shoppers money. The layout is simple, the lighting is practical, shelves aren't boasting of products that are packaged to look like premium brands. No extra glitz or glamour, just your regular grocery store, and that's the point, because every decision is made to keep costs down, making sure that customers spend less. But how exactly do they manage to offer better pricing options? First, there is the bare bones overhead model. Minimal decor, fewer staff, and simple checkout counters, meaning lower operating costs, so they don't have to charge exorbitant prices to keep up with operating costs. The savings on operation cost doesn't go back into corporate pockets. Instead, it goes back to the customers in the form of lower prices. So what exactly makes No Frills a better option in terms of prices? No Frills offer private label brands like No Name or President Choice Basics. These products aren't just cheap, they are considered reliable. Bread, milk, pasta, canned goods. You are not sacrificing quality for cost. Unlike other chains, there are no clever repackaging or premium claims to make you feel like you're getting more than you are. What you see is what you get. Another thing that makes No Frills better than the other flashy chains is that there are no fancy discounts, no loyalty points or limited time offer, no hidden tricks or confusing price tags. For shoppers who are on a budget, or students, or anyone trying to stretch a weekly grocery bill, No Frills consistently delivers. And that is why it's considered one of Canada's most consumer-friendly discount chains. So maybe next time when you walk past those bright, flashy chains with confusing pricing, ask yourself, do you want the thrill of a sale, or do you want to actually keep money in your pocket? Speaking of, affordability, it doesn't stop at No Frills. This next store takes it further by offering student and weekly discounts. Number 2, food basics. Have you ever compared food basics to any other grocery store and wonder why every budget shopper swears by it? Well, it isn't an accident. Food Basics was created as a discount alternative to traditional supermarkets, and it still operates that way today. Simple store format, limited frills, and pricing aimed squarely at saving Canadians money on the basics, meaning you don't have to break the bank to shop at Food Basics. But what makes Food Basics different from bigger grocery players? Food Basic runs weekly deals and specials that are genuinely discount prices, not the elaborate kind that is run by other stores. These deals are easy to track, allowing customers to know what exactly they are saving money on. Because Food Basics keeps promotions transparent, a price is shown, and that's the price you pay. So you don't have to solve an elaborate puzzle just because you want to track a deal. There's even a student discount program at many locations, offering an extra 10% off on certain days to students with a valid ID. That's a direct, clear savings strategy aimed at shoppers who need it most, not a manipulation trick. There are even video comparisons that show that Food Basics stacks up favorably against other discount stores, especially when you compare the same brand and item sizes. Food Basics often comes out at or near the lowest price without hidden costs. And if you look at Canadian grocery price rankings from recent coverage, you'll see that Food Basics consistently rank among the lowest for everyday essentials. So here's the takeaway. Food Basics isn't flashy, it doesn't promote luxury or exclusivity. What it promises, it delivers. And that is real, visible savings without tricks or extravagance. And for households trying to stretch their budget week after week, Food Basics is one of the many options for you. This next store helps stretch your dollar while prioritizing Canadian-based products. Number 3, Giant Tiger. If you are a lover of Canadian-based products and you don't want to spend so much, then Giant Tiger is the store for you. Giant Tiger doesn't look flashy, no mood lightning, no farm-to-table storytelling. But that's exactly the point. Giant Tiger is an affordable grocery store for staple products and doesn't need any of those extravagant additions to make it look like a luxury store. When you walk into the Giant Tiger, all you get to see are just shelves, products, and price tags that do what they are supposed to do. Here is why it matters. Giant Tiger runs a low overhead model, meaning that you are not being charged for the aesthetics of the place. Lower cost of operation, less expensive goods. The prices stay consistent, prices stay familiar, and the weekly flyers are straightforward and predictable. So when something is on sale, it is usually on sale, not discounted, from a price that was probably raised the week before. And unlike other big chains, Giant Tiger relies heavily on private label brands that are manufactured by the same suppliers, used by bigger names. Same suppliers, same standards, different packaging. Here's another small win. No scanner surprises. Scanner surprises are rare at Giant Tiger. Shelf prices usually match the register. That sounds basic, right? But to Canadian grocery retail, it is actually a big deal because most stores have made customers police checkout prices. Giant Tiger also leans into locally based sourcing where possible. Many locations stock region-specific items instead of forcing national brands that come with distribution markups. Less logistics, less padding, lower prices. Giant Tiger does not pretend that it's saving you money. It is actually saving you money. No loyalty games, no inflated regular prices, no rebranding groceries. For households watching every dollar, Giant Tiger might not look very fancy, but it's like a community to most customers who are used to seeing the same staff year after year. Giant Tiger is also dependable, and in an economy where inflation is at an all-time high, dependability is important. And while Giant Tiger keeps things affordable with Canadian products, this next store takes budget shopping up a notch, even matching prices to make sure you get the best deal. Number 4. FreshCo operates as a discount store, but unlike some chains, the maths actually checks out. FreshCo operates under the No Frills by design model. Concrete floors, minimal decor, and when all of these is done right, cost control benefits the shopper. But how good is the pricing at FreshCo? FreshCo uses price matching, and by doing that, they acknowledge something simple. People shop around, so rather than punish that by handing out loyalty cards that deceives users, they simply acknowledge it. Also at FreshCo, milk is milk, pasta is pasta, no fancy repackaging or ads that make staple products seem exclusive, thereby making them expensive. Many FreshCo store brand items are always produced by the same manufacturers supplying premium chains. Same nutritional panels, different margins, but the margins aren't quality, it's prices. And unlike other stores that sometimes like to shrink package sizes, FreshCo tends to keep them visible so customers know exactly the size of what they are getting. Of course, you won't find deep artisanal selections or endless niche imports, but that isn't an accident, it's a deliberate choice. Because it's store for basic and affordable groceries, the prices at FarmCo don't just jump week to week without explanation, and their promotion doesn't depend on confusion. This makes FreshCo radical because it makes things simple. But affordability isn't just about low prices. This next store delivers both low prices and in-house products that are of great value. Number 5. Walmart. When most Canadians think of bargain shopping, Walmart might sometimes come to mind. But did you know its grocery section consistently delivers real dollar savings on everyday items? Walmart's strategy is built around everyday low pricing, member-only promotions, from pantry staples to meat, dairy, and household essentials. The prices you see are intentionally accessible, and that strategy shows up in real comparisons. So what sets Walmart apart? Predictability. Walmart prices are predictable. There's no constant price fluctuation. You don't have to depend on weekly flyers. You already know the price for eggs or bread, and this allows you to effectively plan your money and know how much you are going to spend. Also, Walmart carries a wide range of products, from a wide selection of national brands to Walmart's own Great Value brand. Great value items sometimes even undercut competitors with the same goods whilst maintaining good quality. That means you are not only limited to obscure brands or bulky packs you don't need, you can choose what works for your budget. In simple terms, there's something for everyone no matter your budget. A family could even buy a week's worth of grocery at Walmart significantly less than they could at other high-brand grocery stores. Now, you begin to realize that you really could have spent less those times you shopped. And with food prices spiking due to inflation, having a store like Walmart available, a store that keeps baseline prices low, can mean hundreds of dollars saved in a year. So in Walmart, you see the price, you pay it, and you save. And these stores prove something important, that saving money isn't about shopping less. It's about shopping smarter, and sometimes that could mean switching stores, or splitting your groceries into two, or simply knowing when the deal isn't a deal, or that price tags don't tell the full story, nor do loyalty points. Neither does flashy aisles or premium labels. None of the stores in this video are breaking the law, none of them are banned, none of them are doing something technically illegal. But legality isn't the same as fairness, and regulation is not the same thing as honesty. The question shouldn't be, is this allowed? It should be, why should Canadians accept this without questions? Because once higher prices feel normal, they stop feeling optional. Once they settle in, they quietly drain money month after month. So what does this mean for you? It means pausing before checkout, comparing prices across stores, looking beyond points and promotions, and asking whether convenience is worth the premium. Because groceries shouldn't be a luxury, it's a necessity, and no one should have to overpay to eat well. Which store surprised you the most? Drop a comment below. We read everyone. If this video changed how you think about grocery shopping like it, share it and subscribe.